babies. What's up, my darling MVPs, and how are you all doing? Welcome back to Sale with Mimiciously Mimi, where you get a gist. I see they do waiting. I see they hurt. Of course, you know there's no sleeping on a bicycle on this channel. If you snooze, you do what? You lose. Are you yet to subscribe to this channel? Or are you still sitting on a far long thing? Kindly pause right there, subscribe, and make sure you turn on the notification bell. If not, tell me, how do you want to get the gist brewing from the cooking pot? Like, how do you want to get the gist? I see the heart. So, guys, talking about the gist as the heart, we all know it's been a lot of activity today in Biggie's house, and definitely Tuesdays and Wednesdays are for diaries session. And Biggie did not just let that go like that, as he actually had diary session with few of the housemates, and they had a lot to say with the speed date and everything in between. So let's go. Let's see diary session of Taki, Ballet, of course, interesting Yolanda, and then Liema said something that is actually so surprising. We're gonna get there anyways. Let's just start off with Taki. So Biggie asked Taki how it is the mood in the house has been, and he said the mood in the house has been very great, that the housemates are happy. Biggie asked him, is it from your own personal mood or you think general in the house? He said aside from his own personal mood, that he thinks the house is a bit light, that everyone is happy. The speed day that Biggie did is actually interesting for him. He said at least today is quite better for him, than on Sunday, because Sunday he was actually down. One of the disruptors whom he got to get closer to, which is Neyo, left the house, and ever since then it did affect him, but he actually feel better right now. And then Biggie asked him, okay, what did you pick from the speed dates that happened? And he said the speed date gets to make him get to see some other part of the housemate, just like Yolanda, get to see another part of her, because he had already this thing, like this perception about Yolanda, but then the speed date happened, and then he tends to see a different part. And then else actually revealed to him that they would have pursued something if she had given him the room. That the reason they are not a thing, that is a couple, like a pair, in a ship, is because she refused to give him the room. He said that is kind of so surprising for him to hear, And he said the most surprising thing he heard during the speed date was this lady, was her name Lerato, who said she want to convert from being a Christian to a Muslim. That it may seem as though the both of them share the same, idea about religion, because they are from a Christian home, but it is not everything the Bible preach that they really do accept, according to them. Okay, so he said he just got to realize that himself and Lerato share the same knowledge when it comes to being a Christian. And then he said it's still surprising for him that else had to say whatever she said about them being a thing, that she wasn't expecting that from her. All right, let's move over to Ballet. So Ballet was asked about her partner for the pair, of course, the Thursday tax. Of course, we know they are young Ballet, that is young Papi and Ballet. And Ballet said that she actually is enjoying her partnership with young Papi, because they all this while they are really do not really have too much thingy together. They really do not really get to know each other and all of that, not until they were paired together. And he tends to even understand that herself and young Papi share so many things in common. They do not struggle to actually present idea, like they reason alike, so she's enjoying it. And then Biggie asked her about the speed date, and she was like, yes, explain how it went, that it was an interesting one, get to see other part of some of the housemates, people like Papaghost, whom she has never had any other conversation with. Like the only conversation they have had is about tax, and they clash always. But this time around, she tends to see the soft part of Papaghost, And then she also mentioned Willie, that Willie actually showed another part of himself, that he is seen as a clown in the house. But having conversation with Willie, it's giving her another mindset about Willie's personality. And so Biggie asked her, if you're to choose, another pair aside young Papi after the speed date, who would you have chose? And then she said she would have go for Papaghost. Yeah, I think she said Papaghost or I think yes, Papaghost or Willie. That was what she said. Yes, Papaghost or Willie. And then was it Papaghost or Makeke? Something like that though. Papa goes that I was sure of, but it's between Willie and Makeke. But I think it's Willie though. I think it's Willie she did mention. You know. Anyways, let's go over to Makeke's diary session. I don't know. When I hear this dude talk, I start laughing. I don't know whether the way he talks or anything, but he's a clown. Naturally a clown. Like Makeke is someone that is funny, you know. So in his diary session, he told Biggie he enjoyed the speed dates, you know, that he gets to see some part of the housemate that he do not understand before, you know, just like else that himself and else never had normal conversation, you know, in the house except for this date, and he loved it that he tends to see another side from else. And then he said also for Ballet that he gets to, you know, see another part of Ballet, you know, during the speed date, you know. And then he said he actually did learn a lot, you know, learn to see some things, you know, learn not to judge quickly, and then to see that these housemates, the females, have different perception and perspective on how they reason and how they think, you know. And then Biggie was like, what do you find interesting in the house, blah blah blah. He said, okay, he also said he also find his pair for the what's it called, the Mojolo season, that's the Valentine's Day, perfect, which is Lerato, because they are very cool, you know, easy peasy, because they are friends already in the house. You know, I told you guys, when you're friends with someone in the house, that task will be quite easy for you. Yeah. And then he also mentioned about Liema, Jareed and Pumi situationship that is happening in the house. He said that one is actually stirring things up in the house. For Papaghost said that he enjoyed the speed date. At least people tend to see another side of him that they do not know. And Biggie asked, like, which people do you think tend to see another part of you that they do not know? I think he said Ballet and Millet. There's those two people that he showcased a soft part of him, because people have seen him as this tough person. So he showcased the soft part of him that he thinks that Ballet tends to see another part of him, you know. And then, okay, Biggie was like, okay, aside from Z, who would you want as a partner for these dates that you have already? He said Z is a perfect person for him because they are very cool, you know. He likes Z, not romantically. He actually emphasized on that, you know. But aside from Z, the only person that he would have chose again that would have been his partner is Yolanda. So as they would actually squash some things up, I'm like, yo, it may seem as though Yolanda is not Delulo as we thought, because it may seem as though there is a fire that is actually igniting there, but because of, you know, there's Lerato in the picture, it will not manifest. Because Papaghost is always showing like he doesn't like Yolanda, you know, but it might be that something is there. But he said Yolanda so that they would get to understand each other, you know, get to squash things, and so that they will rectify whatever they have amongst each other, you know. And then Big Brother asked him about nomination, and he said for nomination that he never said this week's own coming, because he feel like the other week before this week they actually showcased good leadership skill, and he was thinking the housemates were so pleased with him, and so he was thinking he's gonna rest this time, but reverse became the case, you know. But it is also fine at the other part. He's looking at it that they might see him as a competitor, hence they had to do whatever they needed to do. And then Biggie was like, okay, do you have anything you need? And he said, yes, Biggie, about the shopping, blah blah blah. He's on for his cigarette. He needed his cigarette. It is not easy for him to pass that information because he is not cool with the head of house, so they barely said hi or goodbye, so that it's just even battery change, they don't talk and any other thing, so it's very difficult for him. He needed they should reshop or something like that. That was the only problem he had. And then for Liema's turn, Biggie asked her how she's doing, how is she doing in the house, how is the house going. She said for her it's always up and down, mixed feelings, mixed emotions. Sometimes she's fine, sometimes she's sad. And Biggie said, okay, let's start with the roller coaster. What is happening with you? And she now narrated about the speed date, you know, how it all happened, and Jareed kissed Pumi afterwards, and then Jareed ended up crying for her. I'm like, yo, did Jareed really cry? People have been asking it. They are like, wait, Jareed must be a good actor. So that dude really cried when there is no single emotion in him and all of that, because Liema did not react. So Liema was like, she's wondering, what does this guy mean? You know, you came up here, you kissed somebody in my very before, and you expect me to be doing what, chair, I'll clap for you or something, because I acted like I do not care, and now you're crying. You know, I'm like, yo, is it crying, or maybe he was the way he was lamenting. You know, sometimes someone will use crying because somebody is lamenting, why it's not the real tears. But you know, fans have netizens have been carrying it that, oh, Jareed cried for Liema and all of that. You know, so she said she do not understand the situation that herself and Pumi are beefing because of a man. If we needed to see her face when she said a man, though, you know, so she now said, but she has understand that it is a game, that now she is ready to play the game. When she said this, I'm like, he's like, this girl is really serious with this gameplay right now, you know. So Biggie now asked her that, okay, aside your pair, okay, for your pair, well, tell me about your partner. She now said, Biggie, I think this pair is actually happened. I don't know whether it's mere coincidence, but I think we got the right pair. Everyone got the right pair because I got Willie and then Jareed got Pumi. So she feels they are the right, perfect pairs for each other. And Biggie asked her if she's going to be choosing someone else. Would she change Jareed after experiencing the speed date? She said, yes, she would change Jareed because Jareed was kind of shy during the speed dates, that it would be between Sinaye or Taki. She now said, no, she would go for Taki. That those two, she loved the way they spoke during the speed date. Are we gonna be seeing Liema close to Taki very soon? Anyways, we'll see that how that plays out. So Biggie asked her, whom do you think nominated you? She mentioned Pumi, she mentioned Els, she mentioned Ballet, you know, and then she said possibly Jareed. When she mentioned Jareed, I'm like, no ways, nobody would tell me nada. This girl's head is now in this game. For her to have think that it's possible for Jareed to nominate her, that means her head is fully on this game right now. And then guess what? This girl is quite observant. She said Z. And she was right. Z did nominated her. She said she do not feel as much as herself and Z are trying to form a kind of bond of friendship, but she feels it's the forceful one. I'm like, wow, interesting. I could remember I discussed it in one of my videos where I said where fans are saying she's the one forcing the friendship and all of that, you know. So she said it is a forceful one because she needed to go to Z first before Z cannot just stay and come to her. That in as much as she likes Z, but she thinks there is something off between the two of them, and it is possible that Z would nominate her because she do not trust her, you know, because their friendship seems forceful, you know, because she's the one that needed to go first before they will start having a conversation. I'm like, yo, this girl, your head is in this game. Though she said she might not be right about Z, but that is what her instinct is telling her. Her instinct is right this time. For Yolanda, guys, Yolanda is a case. Yolanda said she's actually withdrawing a bit. She said being nominated back to back is a thingy right now because she's standing up for herself, because they feel she's loud, she alcohol and all of that. Those are the things she cannot stop, okay? That's the thing is she want to minimize is actually like looking like she's poking others. Like for example, the other week she used herself to go take alcohol while someone was sharing it already. She wanted to take her second turn and then they were not giving her, she had to go take it herself. And that what got to her is that they were sharing it without even putting her into consideration at the first instant. You know, I remember when herself and Makeke was having that conversation and Makeke was trying to caution her that her movements going to take the alcohol herself was wrong. I could remember vividly, and I also shared it with you guys as at that time when it happened sometime last week. So after that, she had to speak about the speed date, right? Okay, first off, she was asked about Mojolo. That what does she think about Valentine and all of that. She said she's not used to, like, she was not used to shown love, that she was raised by a man, you know, that she's not used to show affection and all of that, you know, when it comes to Valentine. Like, she's not lucky to have had a partner. Tomorrow is Valentine, you know, that the person she was looking up to, which is ghosts, actually falls her hand, that now she's moving past ghosts to focus on people who would want her, that she's no longer focusing on the wrong side, because if not, that she would have gone for Willie, that even it's Willie she has in mind from the beginning of this show. She do not know how she started focusing on the wrong side that ended up not paying her well. But Biggie had to tell her that Valentine is not all about, you know, partners, you know, anything, but it's all about self-love. It's all about self-love. It may be friendship, you know, celebrating friendship and whatever, you know. And she also said, sorry, that that Sinaye goes to say some things about her and now comes to act like he did not say anything. That Sinaye said that she's been tossy because she's actually friends with Mitch, why she said Mitch is the perfect friendship for her, because the two of them complement and understand each other in whatever they want to do. That Mitch has always been her backup, and then she has always been Mitch's backup too, you know. So she said she's going to be herself, but if people push her, that she would definitely retaliate. That is for Yolanda. It was quite a long one though, because she can talk for days. So there's this conversation Yolanda, Young Papi and Z were having. You know, Yolanda is kind of confused with Sinaye and Z, Young Papi and Z. So that was what she was telling them here, that like I think the two of you are quite confusing. You and Sinaye look real, you and Young Papi look real, but you guys keep denying it. And then after everything, she was telling Young Papi that if you have a girlfriend, Z must not be close to you or something like that. And then Z was like, if he had to choose, he would even choose me over the girlfriend. Young Papi was like, I want to eat Z's husband money. You know, they were just making jokes and everything. And then she said something about Young Papi being night shift. And then Z was like, oh, is that what you people discuss about her? Or that means it's now Young Papi all day, every day. That it's not going to be about midnight again. They were just laughing it all loud. She even said exactly something she said in the to someone. I was in the diary room. She said, Sinaye warm up while Papi cook. And she also said something in her diary room that Sinaye find it difficult to control Z. That is why it is so hard for him. And also that Jareed is controlling Liema. That's how they want to make her, so that they'll be controlling her in the house, that she will not let that happen. Wahala. Yolanda is a case. So guys, there's this conversation Pumi was having with Ballet, Taki, and Mark Jr., the head of house. She was kind of thinking about her boyfriend. I'm like, when did this one start? Baby girl, this game you started, you must finish it though. She was like, she do not even know if her man will still accept her outside of the house because of some of the things she has done. She even revealed like smoking, her family do not know she smokes except for her little sister and their first daughter. You know, that if not, others do not know that such thing happens with her. That in this house right now, they get to see the real part of her, that her man, maybe she has gone to an extreme that her man would not want it. That her man might maybe tolerate, you know, maybe just a peck, that is kiss on the lips like this, but not going wild on a guy in the house, that she thinks her man would not find that one funny, you know. So they were just having general conversation, while Mark Jr. was thinking her man might understand because she's been genuine, that she has a man ever since she came to the house, and not like she's falling head over heels with anybody. So fans are like, baby girl, don't give us this excuse to continue playing this game that you started. And I'm like, you guys should not worry. Pumi is in for this game. She is not going to stop at all. She's not going to chicken out. She said, there's something she said. She said she's that kind of person that she just want to be known wherever she is. And she said something like this to Liema when they were having conversation, that Liema has this domineering personalities. Like Liema is used to be where they praise her. She's the center of attraction. That is how it is for everybody here, because personality had to clash. Guys, I need to hold my breath right here. I have spoken enough, guys. That is how it is going on in the house. Right now, we know what the housemates feel for each other. We now know that Liema is fully in the game. We are welcoming her back to the game. Let's see if she can fully play this game like she claimed. We would see if her mouth would actually work with her action, or if the action would say nah and her mouth is saying yes. Anyways, guys, I'll be dropping my voice right here now to see you guys later. Thank you so much for always having me and always sailing with me. It is always a nice sail when I have you guys along. Bye for now, babies.